The Muppet Show is a family-oriented comedy variety television series that was produced by puppeteer Jim Henson and features the Muppets. After two pilot episodes produced in 1974 and 1975 failed to get the attention of network executives in the United States, Lew Grade approached Henson to produce the program in the United Kingdom for ATV, the ITV franchise in the English Midlands. The show lasted for 5 series consisting of 120 episodes which were first broadcast in Britain between the 5th of September 1976 and the 15th of March 1981 on ATV, and syndicated the remaining ITV franchises around the United Kingdom. The programs were recorded at ATV's Elstree Studios in Boreham Wood, England. The series shows a vaudeville or music hall-style song and dance variety show, as well as glimpses behind the scenes of such a show. The show was known for outrageous physical slapstick, sometimes absurdist comedy, and humorous parodies. Each episode also featured a human guest star. As the show's popularity rose, many celebrities were eager to perform with the Muppets on television and in film. Many of the puppeteers also worked on Sesame Street. Muppet performers over the course of the show include Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Jerry Nelson, Richard Hunt, Dave Goelz, Steve Whitmire, Fran Brill, Erin Oscar, Louise Gold, Catherine Mullen, Karen Prell, Brian Muale, Bob Payne, and John Lovelady. Jerry Jewell and Jack Burns were two of the show writers. The music was performed by Jack Parnell and his orchestra. History. Since 1969, Sesame Street had given Jim Henson's Muppet Creations exposure. However, Henson began to perceive that he was pigeonholed as a children's entertainer. He sought to create a program that could be enjoyed by young and old. 2 specials were produced and aired on ABC that are considered pilots for The Muppet Show. Neither led to the sale of a prime-time network series. However, the prime-time access rule had just been enacted, which took the 7:30 to 8 p.m. ET slot from the networks and turned it over to their affiliates. CBS suggested it would be interested in Henson's proposal as a syndicated series it could purchase for its owned and operated stations, to run one night a week in that time slot. Lew Grade, head of the British commercial station ATV and accustomed to the idea of puppet television considering he underwrote the various 1960s Supermarionation series produced by Jerry Anderson such as Thunderbirds, offered a deal to Henson that would see his show produced at the ATV studios in Elstree, England. ATV, as part of the ITV network, would broadcast the show to other ITV stations in the United Kingdom, and its distribution arm, ITC Entertainment, would sell the show in the United States and around the world. Henson put aside his misgivings about syndication and accepted. Opening sequence. The Muppet Show theme is the show's theme song. It is the opening and closing theme for every episode of The Muppet Show, and was performed by the Muppets in a scene of The Muppets. Each episode ended with an extended instrumental performance of the Muppet Show theme by the Muppet Orchestra before Statler and Waldorf gave the last laugh of the night. Some last laugh sequences featured other Muppets on the balcony. For example, in one episode, the Muppets of Sesame Street appeared behind the duo who told them, "How should we know how to get to Sesame Street? We don't even know how to get out of this stupid theater box." Every series, the TV version of the song was presented with reworked lyrics. While the opening sequence evolved visually over the course of the show's 5 series, the musical composition remained sequentially the same. Throughout the years, the song has become a staple of the franchise. Setting. Muppet Theatre. The Muppet Theatre is the setting for The Muppet Show, a grand old vaudeville house that has seen better days. In episode 106, Kermit identifies the name of the theatre as the Benny Vandergast Memorial Theatre. Although by the time of It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, it is simply called the Muppet Theatre, it is then that the theatre becomes registered as a historical landmark. According to the Phantom of the Muppet Theatre, the theatre was built by a stage actor named John Stone in 1802. At some point a production of Hamlet ran in the theatre, with Stone playing the title role. An alternate exterior is also shown in the book. Locations seen in the Muppet Theatre include backstage right, the dressing rooms, the attic, the canteen, the prop room, the stage, Statler and Waldorf's box, the auditorium, reception, the recording studio, the stage door lobby, and the back alley. A replica of the theatre serves as the setting for the Muppet Vision 3D attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disney California Adventure. Scooter's uncle J.P. Gross owns the theatre, and rents it to the Muppets, as Scooter is only too happy to remind Kermit. In a deleted scene from It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, Kermit reveals that J.P. has died and left the theatre to the Muppets in his will. This would have taken place sometime after 1996, as J.P. can be seen in episode 107 of Muppets Tonight, the 1990s reworking of The Muppet Show. The Muppet Theatre is shown to be in New York City as Rachel Bitterman plots to tear down the Muppet Theatre and build a club. She is thwarted when Pepe the King Prong manages to get the Muppet Theatre to be made into a national landmark. In the film The Muppets, a version of the Muppet Theatre is seen in Los Angeles and is located next to Muppet Studios. It is the main storyline of the movie that the Muppets reunite to raise money to buy back the Muppet Theatre deed from an oil magnate named Tex Richman. Characters and performers. Many of the characters who appeared on The Muppet Show have appeared in previous and subsequent Muppets productions. Guest stars. No guest star ever appeared twice on The Muppet Show, although John Denver appeared both on the show and in two specials. While Dudley Moore reappeared in the special, The Muppets Go to the Movies. Additionally, several guest stars from the series had cameos in one of the first three Muppet theatrical films. Originally, the producers had to call on their personal contacts to appeal to them to appear, especially considering that doing so meant an overseas trip to Britain to do so. However, the situation changed when the renowned ballet dancer, Rudolf Nureyev, offered to appear. His performance on this unusual TV program produced so much favorable publicity that the series became one of the most sought after for various celebrities to appear in. Many episodes featured actors such as Dom DeLuise. Some featured veteran performers like Ethel Merman and Rita Moreno. Some featured well-known pop singers, including Elton John, Diana Ross, and Leo Sayer. Sayer's show used his hit, "The Show Must Go On." He changed the lyrics in the second verse slightly, from "I wish I could tear down the walls of this theater" to "I wish I could tear down the walls of this Muppet Theater." The last episode, in 1981, featured then James Bond actor Roger Moore. Mark Hamill was in one episode as both himself and Luke Skywalker, his role in the science fiction film Star Wars. One episode featured staff writer Chris Langham guest starring due to Richard Pryor being unable to make the taping of the episode at the last minute. An early tradition was to present the guest star with a Muppet likeness of themselves as a parting gift at the end of the show. But this only lasted for the first two episodes produced featuring Connie Stevens and Juliette Prowse. The high cost and effort of creating these unique Muppets, scheduling conflicts, and potential legal issues contributed to the decline of this practice, although Muppet caricatures and parodies would continue to appear. Episodes. Pilots. The first pilot episode evolves around a character called Wally. The show develops while he is typing the script on his typewriter. In the second pilot, a new character called Nigel acts as the backstage boss. Statler and Waldorf grumble from the living room while watching the show on television. In both pilot episodes, Kermit the Frog only plays a supporting role. Series 1, Kermit the Frog becomes the host for the show from the start of the first series. while former host Nigel gets a part as the orchestra leader. Statler and Waldorf now watch the show from a balcony. Other characters from the pilots, including Drive, Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, Sam the Eagle, the Swedish Chef, George the Janitor, Mildred Huckstetter, Crazy Harry, Brewster, Nigel the Conductor, and Droop continue to make appearances. Characters from previous Jim Henson productions also make appearances, including Rolf the Dog, Sweetums and Robin the Frog, Miss Piggy, Gonzo the Great, and Thog. New characters include Fozzie Bear, the Muppet Newsman, Scooter, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, Wardrobe, Lady Hilda, Uncle Deadly, Marvin Suggs and his Muppaphones, Trumpet Girl, and the singing duet of Wayne and Wanda. Recurring sketches include Veterinarian's Hospital, At the Dance, Talking Houses, Pressing Questions, Fozzie's Monologue, Chatting with Guest Star, Muppet Labs, and Gonzo's Act. Series 2. Several changes were made for the second series. Each week, Scooter would now greet the guest star in his or her dressing room before the opening theme song by announcing the time until curtain call. The opening theme sequence was replaced with one involving the cast in Archers. Sketches such as At the Dance, Talk Spot, Panel Discussions, Talking Houses, and Fozzie's Monologue either made fewer appearances or were dropped altogether. Several characters were rebuilt, with noticeable changes in Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Gonzo the Great. Characters like George the Janitor, Hilda, Mildred, and Wayne and Wanda were dropped from the series. Robin is identified as Kermit's nephew. New sketches include Pigs in Space, and an editorial by Sam the Eagle. New characters include Bunsen Honeydew's assistant Beaker, Link Hogthrob, Dr. Julius Strange Pork, Dog Leone, and Annie Sue. Muppet performers Erin Oscar and John Lovelady departed from The Muppet Show after the first series. In early episodes of the second series, female puppeteers were auditioned to replace Oscar. Louise Gold was eventually hired as Oscar's replacement. Jack Burns quit his role as writer after the first series. Series 3. All of the characters and sketches from the previous series remained. New characters included dim-witted stagehand Beauregard, boomerang fish thrower New Zealand, cafeteria lady Gladys, Bobby Benson and his baby band, and sports commentator Louis Kazaga. New segments included Muppet Sports and Burr on Patrol. 2 new puppeteers, Steve Whitmire and Catherine Mullen, joined the troupe of Muppeteers during this series. Series 4. Most of the characters and sketches from the previous series remained. Canteen worker Gladys, however, was replaced by a new character, Winnie. Rizzo the Rat also made his earliest appearances. Series 5. The cold open featuring Scooter visiting the guest star's dressing room was replaced by a new opening in which Pops, the doorman, would greet each guest as they entered the theater. New characters included Pops, Lips, and Gaffer the Cat.